What's up, guys? Your agent Tyler Wehrung, and today I'm going to do something a little different. As you guys know, I'm always advocating for HELOCs and making videos about them, talking about how powerful of a tool they can be. But this morning, a buddy of mine shot me a link to a Dave Ramsey video where he does a rant about how bad of an idea the HELOC is. So I'm going to be playing that video, giving my thoughts on it, and rather than just replying to my friend, I'm sharing it here with you all. So if you guys like this style of video, let me know in the comments below. And if you have any other videos that you'd like me to share my thoughts on, drop that down there as well. So this is something new, something I haven't done before, but I've seen other folks do it, and it is very helpful. So let me flick over to the video. And before I jump in, just want to say I have a ton of respect for Dave Ramsey and the business he's built, the amount of people's lives that he's changed, and a lot of his advice is great. And actually, for folks on the traditional path in life, working till they're 65, I actually refer a lot of people to Dave for that. But if you are kind of on this non-traditional route, you're buying real estate, you want to build up cash flow and retire early, Dave's not your guy for the most part. I mean, he does have great advice on a lot of other things, but with that, let's go ahead and check it out. I did fast forward to, he starts out talking about the housing market back in 2018. And I'll put the link in the description below if you guys want to watch this video, but here's where he starts talking about HELOCs.
Talking to you about it. One problem is this. Market Watch came out this week and said 1.6 million homeowners are predicted to get new home equity lines of credit in 2018. Now that people have equity, what are they going to do? Go borrow it! Well, that's just stupid. But there's 1.6.
So most people that do use HELOCs are using it in a stupid way, like buying trucks or new cars or boats, like buying depreciating assets that they have no plan to pay off quickly. They're just kind of using this tool to do that. So I agree, and for most cases, for what he's saying.
People out there, they're getting ready to do something stupid according to this report. Don't go borrow your equity out of your house, especially on a freaking home equity loan. It's the credit card of the mortgage world. You know what a home equity loan is? It's a good chance for you to lose your home. Let me tell you why. Most of them have an annual or a biannual, every 2-year call in them, meaning the bank can just decide they want all their money, and you have to go get another loan or have the cash to pay them off right then, or they foreclose.
All right, so some truth there. This is a stupid idea. They can actually take your home if you don't make these payments. So I always say, make sure you understand what you're getting yourself into. Make sure if you plan to tie up a property, make sure it's a good investment that you can get back out of if something happens, especially if you're using HELOC on a primary residence that your family lives in. You don't want to put your family out on the streets because you had a good idea. Make sure you know what you're getting into. But if you are a sophisticated investor, this is an excellent tool. The piece about calling your note due every 2 years, they may have language. I actually don't know that for sure, but I'm sure they do if he's saying it. They might have language in there that they have the ability to do that. But banks aren't in the housing industry. They do not want to foreclose and just own your house. So if you're making payments every month, I can't see why they would ever do this. But he's right. They may have the potential to. Now, one thing that I do know that they've done in 2008, they've actually put a freeze on all the accounts and don't let you borrow additional funds because obviously the equity is likely gone in the home that they gave you the line of credit on. But if you already pulled it out and you're making payments on it, there's no reason why they would call the note due. So yeah, I'll have to do more research on that, but don't let that scare you.
I mean, it looks like something in an old 1930s movie or something. But everybody just bebops along and acts like it's nothing because usually they don't do that. But they have the right in the paperwork to just decide they don't like you anymore.
I don't know why they would do that.
The second thing is, you know what the interest rate on your home equity loan is based on? Your banker's mood. It's not tied to any index. It's not tied to any national publishing.
You'll see most lenders have their HELOC rate follow the prime rate plus a couple percent. So it is a high interest rate. It does vary from month to month, but most of them do follow some other the prime rate or another index. Rarely do they just go off their feelings, in my experience.
But when they change, they just change it. It's completely variable, and it's variable based on, I think we can get a little more out of George this week. Let's just raise it. And they just raise them. Or they might lower them, but not very often. And so you are setting yourself up in a piece of crap loan.
So the HELOC industry is super competitive, especially with how many people he mentioned in the beginning are wanting these products. So they are incentivized to keep rates low to attract more customers. So in my experience, they're very competitive. They don't just on a whim raise up rates because people would likely find somewhere else to go.
The call and a variable rate that is based on the banker's whim, that's just dumber than a rock. That's just dumber. You are asking for trouble. And then when things turn down, you're going to go, oh, well, I didn't think that was stupid. Because, hey, when things are going really good, stupid gets covered up. Stupid
That's
can look
true.
smart when things are good. But like Warren Buffett says, when the tide goes out, you can tell who was skinny dipping.
Facts.
When things go down, this home equity loan is going to be, oh, I had no idea. Well, where were you in 2008? I mean, were you not born yet? Seriously. How did you have no idea? You didn't even look at it. All you cared about was, I wanted a new kitchen, princess. Come on. Shut up. Stupid butt stuff. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't borrow this equity out. You're supposed to be building wealth in the ownership of your home, not constantly borrowing it out to buy crap. And that's what your home equity. I'm going to move my credit card debt over there. I paid off my credit card debt with a home equity loan. See, that statement right there is the dumbest thing I ever heard. Here's why it's dumb. You didn't pay off your credit card debt. You moved it onto your mortgage. So you go to the steakhouse and eat a steak. Talk about buying a depreciating asset on debt. Put that on a credit card. And then when you can't pay the credit card, you roll it over to a home equity loan. Then when you can't pay the home equity loan, you put it in your refinance on your new 30-year mortgage. So now you've financed a freaking steak over 30 years. This is stupid on steroids.
So I do agree with some of that. However, he's kind of interchangeably using HELOC, home equity loan. They're not the same, but if you are planning to continue to make bad decisions like financing things you can't afford, I completely agree with what he's saying. However, I'll link to a video that I shot about the times when it can be right to use a cash out refinance to consolidate high interest rate credit card debt. Assuming that you're fixing a mistake you made when you were younger and dumber, or any stupid mistake that you've learned from and you don't plan to continue to do because it's not sustainable, which is his point. You shouldn't go out and do these things, finance a stake on 30 years. But if you went out when you were 21 and you bought stakes and now you're still paying for it, this is an opportunity for you to leverage the equity you have to clean up your mistakes, high interest rate student loan debt, high interest rate credit cards. If you can consolidate that to a lower interest rate and use the equity to get you out of those stupid mistakes and you're not going to do it again, it can be a great tool for that. But his advice is for the masses of people who use credit in a not a smart way
People do regularly.
or
This is a
regularly.
problem, folks. It's a problem. Every time things get good, people get lazy.
That's a fact.
Financially fat, sassy, and undisciplined and not watching what you're doing. One of the key elements to becoming a millionaire is not borrow on your house, it's get your stinking house paid off.
I disagree.
One of the key elements of becoming a millionaire. All the data points show us that. This is the stuff I made up. Don't go borrow on your home equity loan. And oh, by the way, some of you that have been thinking about selling your house, I don't know what you're waiting on. I can't, you're supposed to buy low and sell high. It's high. It's high.
Here's the thing. If you are thinking about selling, he's right. What are you waiting on? But don't just go and sell because it's high, because likely you're going to have to move into another property that's high. So, you're right. The theory, buy low, sell high makes sense if you already are planning to move for another reason. But don't just uproot your family because your house is shot up in value unless you have an opportunity to get into something else at a good price, because likely you'll be out on the market. I see this every day. People are ecstatic about the price they sold their house for, and then they're in a panic because they can't find a house and end up overpaying and putting all that money into something else. So, it's a little bit of truth there.
If we're going to sell a house, right now is the time to sell it.
That's
right
true.
now, this minute. Jump online at DaveRamsey.com, click on ELP for real estate, get you one of these.
Or call me.
high protein real estate agents and get the sign in the yard. I can do it myself because I'll just get multiple offers. Yeah, there's a good way to lose an extra 3%. And 3% of $200,000 is known as $6,000 because you don't know what the flip you're doing. And you hire a
Facts.
professional to work on your teeth. You hire a professional to do your will. You hire a professional to do your taxes and work on your car. But you're going to sell your largest asset by yourself. That's
Preach.
stupid.
Preach,
Don't
brother.
do that. A monkey can sell a house in this market, but that doesn't mean they did it right.
Right.
Don't hire a monkey. Don't hire a real estate agent that's been in the business for 20 minutes because they're your relative. My Aunt Jessie just got her
Oh,
license.
God.
That's a good way to screw stuff up right there.
Facts.
Stay away from Aunt Jessie till she figures out how to,
See this all the time.
like these doctors, my practice. It's because you're practicing still. Yeah, I mean, don't get somebody still practicing. Get a professional that's getting it done, that knows what they're doing. Somebody sells 3 houses a year and sold 10 houses in their lifetime doesn't need to be selling your largest house, your largest asset. And this is the time to do it, baby. So put it on the market, max it out.
All right, I think he's done talking about HELOCs. He continues to talk about housing markets and stuff there and probably plugging his products. But, all in all, net at the end of the day, do agree with a lot of what he said here. For the traditional person out there living an ordinary life, don't use this stuff in a stupid way. Always do your own due diligence. Make sure you know what you're getting into. There is a lot of risk here, but there's also a huge upside and a huge way to tap into a large amount of capital that's just sitting idle in your home. And, I've seen a lot of people, knock it out of the park by doing this. So that's what I advocate for, but you got to do it wisely and you have to understand what you're getting yourself into. So with that, guys, I'll go ahead and wrap. Again, if you guys like this style, let me know in the comments below, or if there's any other video out there you want my thoughts on it, drop it there as well. I hope this was helpful, guys. But with that, I'm Tyler Wehrung. We'll catch you next time.